Hello everyone, welcome back to the Maverick channel, and right now we're in the bear market in the cryptocurrency space, which means it's the best time to actually look out for the companies that are building, what products are engaging themselves in the cryptocurrency space. And today I'm going to make a few name drops like Chainlink, Binance Chain, Solana and so on, and we're going to see how these projects are actually integrating with each other, with Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these things. It's going to be a short video, but it's going to be quite educative, so hit that subscribe and like button and stay tuned for the whole video. So before we get into this video, first of all, we have to see how institutions are getting into the cryptocurrency space despite what's happening right now. For example, look at this tweet. Welcome Polygon to Bloomberg. Matic being listed. Matic is the token of the Polygon network. It's called Matic. So Matic being listed to terminal shows mass adoption for cryptocurrency by financial institutions. Of course, having a token like Matic, which is one of the biggest layer 2 scaling solutions of the Ethereum network, being ticked, basically there's a ticker for it on the Bloomberg terminal, that's extremely big, which means they've done their research, they know what they're doing, and they trust in the team and the longevity of these projects, what they've been doing in the past, and the kind of integrations they're having in the crypto space, what kind of developments they're looking at, how they're upgrading, what the partners, all kinds of things. So basically projects that are building high quality products to support other projects within the crypto space. So you're looking at this one supporting Ethereum, being supported by others, and we're going to see how all this ties into each other, which is quite magical. Now before we get into, we have to look at the Binance ecosystem, which is arguably the biggest ecosystem in the whole of cryptocurrency space, which actually leverages the Tendermint consensus algorithm of the Cosmos ecosystem. We also have to remember that the Polygon network is also, it implements sidechains, zero knowledge proof rollups, all other solutions, or kind of they're trying to do all these experiments, carry out these experiments to see how they can scale, and they're also implementing some kind of Tendermint, which means they're all preparing for integration with the Cosmos ecosystem in the future. I mean, it will be exciting to see when or how this plays out in the future, especially if they announce it. Now, Binance launched their roadmap, which is pretty big. These guys, of course, they engaged in so many projects, they've helped so many projects get launched out there, and we can see Binance 2022 tech roadmap, which is summarized in this very nice infographic. So instead of looking at the whole thing, you can just look at this infographic stretching from Q1 2022 all the way to 2023. So first, faster transactions, low cost, extra capacity. So of course we know that the Binance blockchain is we have the Binance chain, we have the Binance Smart Chain, and it's all integrating into the Binance Smart Chain. But their roadmap is extremely interesting because obviously the blockchain is fast, it's scalable, but they're moving towards that, making sure it's much faster. So the Binance Smart Chain block cap goes up to 125 million in Q2 and 200 million in Q3. So increasing the block size or gas cap programming, profiting and testing. So what that means, you increase the block size of the data within each block as the, well, it's a blockchain. So you have each block encapsulating data, and once that block is mined, or Binance Smart Chain is on staking, but once it's mined and there is a reward, so increasing the block size means you're increasing the amount of data that can be transferred, or the amount of transactions that can be transferred within each block, which means the blockchain has it's faster and can move more data. So they're looking at that, and they have some things called BEP 127, temporary validator maintenance mode. So they're looking at all these things: consistently high capacity, less congestion, and transaction queuing. So they want to make the chain faster, faster finality, and so on. Further decentralization, and here they want to increase the number of validators. Right now, the Binance Smart Chain, I think, supports about 20 validators, and they want to double this to about 40, and this is to 41 actually, increasing validators set to 41. This is obviously speaking to the larger decentralization. As the bear market has set in, more and more companies, more and more individuals are realizing the importance of staying with the core principles of the blockchain ecosystem: scalability, security, and also things like decentralization. Extremely important. So lighter applications deal well. From Q1 to 2022, Q3 of 2022, we see more transparency and multi-chain integration. So open source Binance or BNB Beacon chain. They want to create a Binance chain which is open source to allow transparency and multi-chain interconnectivity. Also increase transaction speed. We've looked at that through parallel Ethereum virtual machine. So you can run the Binance Smart Chain on a Web3 wallet like MetaMask, which also supports anything that has EVM on it. Essentially can be run on MetaMask, which means it supports the Ethereum infrastructure in some way, shape or form. So the Binance BEP 126 fast finality mechanism, smooth cross-chain. So they're looking at cross-chain interoperability and stuff like that. So side chains for flexibility, speed, low transactions. So these are all innovations they're looking at to move towards that, because they understand the importance of this decentralization, having a fast blockchain and integrating with other ecosystems. Then also later they want to look at lighter applications, ideal for non-DeFi applications. Now what's important before we get into that, there's this thing called the Binance, the BAS or the BNB application sidechains, which is fully EVM compatible, proof of stake or proof of authority staking, high performance framework, native bridge between Binance, the Binance application sidechains, and the Binance smart chain. So they want to create another type of sidechain which can be used to integrate with other blockchains, but also it integrates with its own Binance smart chain, which brings a lot of value, which already has a lot of value attached to it. And also here, blockchain storage system to solve problems for long-term storage. So these are some of the things they're looking at. So next generation sidechain towards, they want to aim for 10,000 transactions per second. So obviously this is all happening. The building is all happening. Now this, they're going to get some assistance from a company called Nodrill. And this is their website essentially, but it's also mentioned here. So this improvement is a collaboration between the BNB core team, Nodrill, and Anchor Protocol. And we've also seen Anchor protocols like Anchor partner with some of the blockchains that I talk about here a lot, speaking to Fetch.AI. But you can, seriously speaking, the first deployment of the Binance, that application sidechain, will be the 3 decentralized application by Meta Apes, Project Galaxy, and Metaverse World, as well as integrations by leading infrastructure partners like Anchor, Seller, Math Wallet, Multi-Chain, Nodrill, and Pyth Network. So I guess they deal in Python and all that mostly, or generally programming and building things. So this is an example of how Nodrill looks like, and they list some of the partners here like Aptos, BNB Chain, Seller Bridge, CertiK Network, Project Galaxy, and so many others. And basically they tout themselves as the ultimate Web3 infrastructure solution. So I guess they're being used by the Binance ecosystem. If you're an institution out there, if you're a project out there and you're looking at serious interoperability, I guess this might be a good way to, maybe you might send these people an email and try to find out how you can work with them. Now, what's interesting, going outside of the Binance ecosystem and going into the Chainlink ecosystem, which is, Chainlink is basically the blockchain known for providing data out there. The same way Polygon came out as a scaling solution for Ethereum, in terms of Oracle data, Chainlink takes the place. It takes that cake. So Link Marines joined, basically the community is called the Link Marines, Chainlink, but the native token is also called Link. So Link, hence the name Link Marines. So Link Marines rejoice after Chainlink 2 brings a new roadmap and staking. So the point to note about this roadmap is mostly the staking bit of it, and they break it down. Of course, they have Chainlink staking, exploring the long-term goals, roadmap, and initial implementation. And as they do this staking thing, they're aiming at a couple of things like increasing the crypto economic security and user assurance of Chainlink services. Obviously, you understand staking in the cryptocurrency space is to add security to the network and also to add to the governance, so people are able to vote and on the community, on the development of certain features that they're interested in. So proposals are put out there by anyone and they're voted upon. So enabling community participation, which speaks to that point we've just made, generate sustainable rewards from real long-term use. So when you stake, when you run a validator node, you're rewarded with these tokens. So that is the point they're trying to make here. Empower node operators to access high-value jobs by staking, is again speaking that reward. Now they have a little infographic here which is solving diminishing returns for Oracle network security, and you can see this graph. They have security impact versus implementation of resources, and you can see by this graph the main focus. So as implementation of resources is basically being looked at as something they want to do in the future, security is the main thing. And you can see as security has been achieved, then implementation of resources, and then you have this sort of exponential application of these resources like greater network staking, greater network staking, greater decentralization with high reputation nodes, and additional security best practices widely implemented across nodes. So you're looking at things like that, and also this goes into the security thing, reputation, alerting. So Ethereum price feeds, these guys, their main MO is providing price feeds, which means security is extremely important, and the value of the data is obviously, it has to be on point. So the introduction, in conclusion, the introduction of staking is a pivotal moment that marks the evolution to Chainlink Economics 2.0. So a new era in Chainlink's long-term security and network economics, while the initial implementation of Chainlink staking is designed to minimize risk for participants and create a strong foundation. So the long-term goals revolve around scaling Chainlink into a global standard with a growing and sustainable user base, which in turn offers great opportunity for rewards for stakers who increase the network's crypto economic security and user assurance. Now, of course, you have to look at understanding proof of reserves, because in their roadmap, they have something they call proof of reserves. I mean, if they're the main source for data, they have to show that proof that indeed that data is there. For example, if you're looking at creating synthetic assets, so you're creating Bitcoin, but you want to use Bitcoin on Ethereum, so you have a version of Bitcoin on Ethereum, for example, you need proof that your original Bitcoin actually exists. So this is what proof of reserve means. And you can see, I can read briefly the introduction here. The global financial system commonly operates in an under-collateralized and highly opaque manner, so creating systemic risks that can result in boom and bust cycles and market-wide failures. So decentralized finance provides an alternative by offering highly transparent, trust-minimized financial products that are powered by deterministic smart contracts and cryptographic truths. So that's essentially how blockchain works, smart contracts and all that. So with the growth of decentralized finance comes an increasing demand for new collateral types that extend beyond native on-chain assets. So you're looking at, instead of just backing traditional cryptocurrencies with the native cryptocurrencies, a basket of native cryptocurrencies, you can also onboard traditional assets to act as collateral there, including gold, silver, and other shares in companies and so on. So with the growth of DeFi comes an increasing demand for new collateral types that extend beyond native on-chain assets, including cross-chain tokens, fiat-backed stablecoins, tokenized real-world assets, and more. So of course, this reserve goes into a brief review of what this reserve does. For example, if you read this, you can see that they talk about Celsius Network, which is a centralized body. So here they explain how briefly it works. So for example, Celsius is a centralized finance CeFi protocol that integrates Chainlink proof of reserve. So to help secure and audit wrapped versions of Cardano, Dogecoin, Ethereum, doing this on the Polygon network. So Chainlink proof of reserves enables the real-time auditing of Celsius wrapped tokens, so the ones that are wrapped, as we've seen on the Polygon network, and checks the collateralization of its vault reserves to help trigger the minting, redeeming, and burning smart contracts. So you're looking at a decentralized Oracle network partnering with a centralized network for staking, which is creating these other tokens of other versions of the real tokens, all this being done on a layer 2 scaling solution, which is a Polygon network. So this goes into the interoperability that I'm talking about. These companies are actually working together in the background, even if they may not necessarily be talking to each other. They understand the importance of working together, and obviously they have these nice infographics that point out, that show how this works. So for example, if you have Cardano, which is one of the altcoins that a lot of people are excited about, Cardano tokens are locked on Cardano. Then the Chainlink, so they're locked on the Cardano chain, so they have that security. So the Chainlink proof of reserve on Ethereum. So the Chainlink proof of reserve could be running on the Ethereum network. So an Ethereum-based Chainlink proof of reserve contract verifies that the Cardano token the balances are real. Then token verification on the third level. So if balances match, smart contracts trigger the creation of the synthetic Cardano assets, which in this case they're called CX ADA. So these are the new tokens created. So if the balances do not match, the new tokens are not minted. So normally, if these new tokens are minted, if you want to get your original tokens back, you have to put these back in the smart contract, and then you get your initial tokens back. So that liquidity is extremely important, and maintaining a true data feed of a 1-to-1 ratio, nothing less, nothing more, is extremely important. And of course, this goes into minting and locking the new tokens and Chainlink proof of reserve. Then these new tokens are then put on the Polygon network. The Polygon-based Chainlink proof of reserve contract verifies the new tokens, balances in the vault, and the vault verification. So if the enzyme vault is collateralized, new CX ADA tokens is minted and made accessible on the Polygon network. So it shows you sort of a process of, and this can be done with Ethereum, with Bitcoin, and all these other things. And it shows you a nice infographic of how this is done. So for example, this proof of reserve concept can be used with Bitcoin, where they use like protocol with Ren Bitcoin, or Wrap Bitcoin with BitGo's Wrap Bitcoin, or the Ren networks Ren Bitcoin. And then this can be applied to stablecoins as well. So proof of reserve for stablecoins. Stablecoins are the ones that try to maintain, or are supposed to maintain, a 1-to-1 peg with the dollar, so the traditional dollar. So of course, if you read the Chainlink website, you get more details about this, especially if you're an institution, a company you want to work with these guys, build secure cross-chain applications quickly. And that has been their MO. And you can see they're working with other companies, including centralized and decentralized companies alike. So established companies. And one of the biggest blockchains out there, Solana, Chainlink launches price feeds on Solana to provide data to DeFi developers. As the bear market sets in, we saw things happening with the lunar crash. The algorithm went wild, the prices depegged, and so on. Solana realizes, of course, and other companies, the importance of maintaining a price feed because it can bring problems like liquidity issues and the platform can essentially break. Trust is also removed. So things have to be on point, essentially, if you're dealing with people's money. So Solana co-founder Anatoly Yakovenko noted that the integration will be beneficial to DeFi developers building on the platform, because if you want to integrate other chains, other metaverses, other tokens, other NFTs, you need to make sure there is a one-to-one backing of these feeds. So it's extremely important to have that interoperability standard. So just to briefly read the introduction of this, blockchain oracle platform Chainlink has announced the launch of its price feeds on the Solana blockchain. The integration allows decentralized finance developers to use feeds within their decentralized application. And of course, this announcement on Cointelegraph, the blockchain oracle platform, notes that that upon launch, 7 price feeds will be available to Solana developers, including BTC USD, Ethereum USD, and USDC USD. So they're going to launch those first, and I guess as they move forward, they'll be building and increasing all this kind of stuff. Now, there's a platform that I wanted to show you guys where you can look at cryptocurrencies depending on their social engagement and social activity. Now, I found this platform quite interesting. It's called Lunar Crash. So not like Terra Luna. So this time the Luna is spelled with an R. So Lunar Crash. So Lunar Crash, I can see there's social mentions, for example, 1.5 million, social engagements, 3.26 billion. I guess looking at the overall crypto market, I'm not too sure what metrics they use, but I guess they try to make it as legitimate as possible, because it's extremely hard to lie to people on the internet. So you need to provide data that's reliable if you want people to use your platform. Otherwise, they figure you out. So social contributions, 40,000, market cap 1.1 billion, and so on, trading volume. So you can look at Bitcoin essentially by social mentions, has the highest social mentions with 106,000, social engagement 365 million. So Bitcoin is still king in terms of price, in terms of other things, liquidity, even social activity. Ethereum comes second because one of the biggest smart contracts out there. Decentraland, that's not a very big surprise. There's a lot of demand for the Decentraland Mana token. It's essentially the biggest metaverse out there in terms of decentralization, because the biggest events are held there every month. Christmas events, Halloween events, Pride events. Actually, that is going on right now as well. So people are into the Pride. I think it's a Pride month, so that's a big event. They've created some nice floats and wearables, and it's all colorful. So Decentraland arguably is the biggest metaverse out there, and Solana, the community has accepted it as the altcoin, or that altcoin that's supposed to be the contender to Ethereum, that has gained a tremendous amount of acceptance within different communities. So Solana, despite its blockchain having some issues, shutting off, coming back on, coming back on, it still takes the 4th place in terms of social mentions. And of course, Dogecoin, Terra Luna. But guys, you have to be extremely careful, because not everything that's socially mentioned or that's high up there, it's a positive thing. Of course, like for example, we've had a lot of activities around the Terra Luna token, which had its crash and that horrible over 40 billion market capitalization lost. A cryptocurrency project might be popular because something bad is happening. So, but of course, most times the social mentions are because people are extremely excited about that, and of course they want to talk about it. So this is one of good ways to look at cryptocurrencies by terms of community engagement, because as we move forward, everyone understands the importance of community in the cryptocurrency space, because that means that speaks directly to your influence, to your reach, and hopefully eventually the value that you can bring in terms of, well, value in terms of what you bring to people, but if you have a token, that profit value as well. So Chainlink as well, Avalanche, Rarible for NFT sales, Celsius Network, which is a centralized Polkad, which is a centralized staking platform we just looked at. the Polkadot, which is interoperability, XRP, we know they're doing finance, Tron, they're trying to capture everything as well. So you can Kronos, some exchanges here. So you can look at liquid stake Ethereum. This is Lido, which is one of those platforms that's gaining traction in terms of liquid staking. But I just read somewhere that might get some issues with the pegging Ethereum. So guys, you have to be extremely careful. You have to do your research when you're getting into anything. Make sure you use more than 2 platforms to do your research. You could use this, you could use something like DAppRadar, you could use DeFi Pulse. So you make all these comparisons before you make a decision. So this was just one of the tokens I pulled out, Decentraland. So you can see these graphs fluctuating. At some point it had close to 30 million views or engagement, social engagement. This dropped. So it keeps fluctuating like that, especially now that we're in a jittery market. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you, I'm not going to read all these 48 points. I just wanted to show you this, and I'm going to post this in the link of the description of this video. Here are 48 crypto websites and apps and resources that you should know about and use. So guys, if you're overwhelmed by this space, I'm going to say this is a very good Hakanun. Good job, guys. Ever since the bear market set in, you guys have started writing good articles again. You had lost your way, but I'm glad that Hakanun is starting to drop some amazing articles now that the bear market has set in, and this is one of the good ones. So you can look at these 48, like the Bitcoin white paper, what's Bitcoin mining, white papers. Then you go into short courses. You can learn about introduction to cryptocurrencies and blockchain, investment fundamentals, introduction to digital currencies, Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, and so on. Learn how to code in crypto. So guys, you're getting these free resources. Ethereum development courses, blockchain theory, learn Solidity, which is the main smart contract development coding language for Ethereum, Solidity, blockchain, smart contracts, and so on. Learn Rust and so on. So they lead you these 4 sets. You can get free Monero if you want to test out the network. Stellar, you can get free Stellar tokens if you want to test out the network, and all these kinds of things. Axie Infinity, Decentraland, Sandboxes are so examples of play to earn, metaverses. So it's not only showing you these links, but these links also give you a breakdown of the whole cryptocurrency space: smart contracts, NFTs, DeFi, the traditional stuff like Bitcoin, Ethereum, DeFi on Ethereum and other platforms, charts and prices if you want to look at analytics, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, TradingView are some of the big ones. Then the exchanges, Binance the biggest one, exchange lists, so to see other exchanges, Trade Augur, then forums where you can communicate, interact with people like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin Talk forum, then Lunar Crash, which we just looked at, was actually from here. So you can trust and see that you can get some extremely valuable resources from this particular blog here. So decentralizing everything video. And bonus, you can learn about staking, nice hash if you mine Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. This helps you keep track or calculate your profits and so on. Then buying crypto credit cards and so on. So they have some really nice links that will allow you to sort of understand where this market is, and of course, I guess you can donate to them. Understand where this market is without getting overwhelmed. So guys, I really hope you learned something in today's video, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.